Hey, Big Mama here. Remember when we were little and we would have company? Company were like friends of the family that would be just out driving somewhere, and they'd see your house and say, hey, let's go visit your family. And they would drop in and your mom would have, cookies, cake, or something like that. Or sometimes your mom or dad might even cook an entire meal. But it was because company was there, and company was something special because it was like, oh, someone thought enough of us to drop in to say hi. So we're going to treat them like the valued guests that we are. Nowadays, somebody knocks on our door out of the blue and we're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I didn't clean, the house is a mess. And you go outside and you stand and talk to them on the porch, and you're there for like 10, 15 minutes and then they take off. In the old days, company came and stayed for hours. And if they brought the kids with you and you were a kid, you would introduce them to all your favorite toys, you'd play games. And they, like I said, they would stay for hours. Well, I'm gonna tell you about an anime about company coming. And it's a little bit different than what you might expect when company comes to visit. So stay tuned. In 2013, I was just really beginning to watch anime, and I ran across a new anime that year. It had premiered in April of 2013, and it was like nothing that I had ever watched before. And I had been watching a lot of different kinds of anime, but I ran across this anime and it kind of blew me away. I was under a spell from the first episode. Actually, that's not true. I think I watched the first episode and was like, I'm not sure if I want to watch this. And then I went back maybe a couple of weeks later and watched the second episode, and then I was under a spell. And from that point on, I was just like, I was full in, and I couldn't wait for the next week to come so I could watch the next episode. That anime was called Attack on Titan, and at that time became one of the most popular animes of that year. Unfortunately, what happened was it took 4 more years before the second season of that anime came up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about Attack on Titan, and I'm going to address the seasons as they move through, not all of them, and I'm not really even going to give any kind of spoilers away. I'm just going to say Attack on Titan, as the seasons go on, gets better and better, to the point where you're like, what's going to happen next? Which, if an anime is good enough, it's always going to make you say, what happens next? So I decided that I am going to tell this like the story that it is. And I have my storybook here, and so let us begin. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Eren Yeager. And Eren lived with his parents, Carla and Grisha Yeager, and a little girl who had been adopted by the Yeager family named Mikasa Ackerman. Mikasa was living with the Yeager family because her parents had been brutally murdered. Eren has a best friend whose name is Armin Arlet. Armin is small and bookish, and he's often bullied. Eren often takes up for Armin to protect him from the bullies. And then Mikasa has to defend Eren from the bullies that he was defending Armin against. They all live in the peaceful Shiganshina district on Paradise Island. Eren lives in a gated community. As a matter of fact, pretty much everyone on Paradise Island lives in a gated community. I know it's not politically correct, but when you have neighbors like Eren's, living in a gated community is a matter of survival. The productive members of Paradise Island live behind 3 50-meter concentric walls named Sina, Maria, and Rose. Eren and his family live behind a wall which is an outcropping of Wall Maria. They are all snug as bugs in a rug. Well, they were, until one day when the neighbors outside the wall decided to pay a visit. And just like those pesky neighbors that you try to avoid, they paid a visit without an invitation. They just barged right in, just like those neighbors that you try to avoid, the ones that trash your property, scare your kids, eat all your food. Only in the case of Attack on Titan, you're actually the food. Welcome to Attack on Titan. And once upon a time, there was a boy named Eren Yeager who dreamed of joining the Scout Corps. The Scout Corps are a special military unit that ventures outside the walls to explore the bucolic landscape of Paradise Island. They are explorers tasked with meeting the neighbors and finding ways of living in peaceful harmony. They even take tasty treats for the neighbors. However, the tasty treat might be the guy riding on the horse next to you. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Eren Yeager who vows to kill all Titans. You might understand this because the Titans actually destroyed his home, they ate his mother, and they pretty much ended his peaceful life. So Eren, Mikasa, and Aram join the Corps, and we get to see their training and their first battles and subsequent battles with the Titans. If you stick with the series, they get some of the coolest toys to play with. This anime has some of the best surprises and reveals, and there are things that happen that you're like, I had no idea. The first season in 2013 was an instant hit, and then, like I said, it took 4 years for the second season to air. And for anime fans, 4 years is a long time to wait for an anime, and a lot of people just kind of like brushed it off and you know, were like, so what? The second season of Attack on Titan is coming. And I was like that too. And I didn't watch the second season when it first began. And then I watched the second season. And then I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch the second season until the third season had completed itself. And then I went back and I binge watched from the first season all the way to the end of the second season, or the end of the third season. And it was just amazing because the tone of the second season was completely different than the tone of the first season. But it built on that first season, and the same thing with the third season. And as the anime continues, the secrets behind the Titans, Paradise Island, and even Eren himself are revealed. And it's like pop rocks, if you remember those, exploding in your mouth. Every episode tells you something different. And it actually, it spends a lot of time addressing side characters or characters you think are side characters but play extremely important roles in the story overall. It's gory, it's graphic. People are being eaten by titans, and you'll see what titans are from the very first episode. You'll understand why it's called Attack on Titan and what a titan is. So this is just what I'm going to say. I watched the English dub and I watched the original Japanese dub. There are times when the English dub is even scarier than the Japanese dub. And there are scary moments. There are hold your breath moments, and then there are like big sighs of relief, and then you're like, okay, why am I sighing in relief? Because we're still basically in trouble. I am just gonna say, I hope you try Attack on Titan, even if it's just the first episode, because it's like I said, nothing like I've ever seen before. If you like this video, don't forget to give it the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notify bell. As always, thank you very much for watching. Big Mama out.